Hello and welcome to another Integrative Wisdom Today's Office View. I'm Verna Fisher, and if it's today's office view, it must be. While I'm recording this, it is a Monday. What a great way to start the day, to take a moment to think about how we're showing up in whatever work that we have to do. How are we showing up? Are we paying attention to everything that's around us in that view? So today I wanted to actually start with a little bit of a story, which then led me to what today's office view is about. Got a late start today. I think I was a little discouraged today. On my alarm, when it goes off in the morning, it says, wake up happy. Wake up happy. So that's my little mantra that, when I look at my clock and I go, oh, it's that time. Oh, wake up happy. Okay. And today I'm like, I set it aside and I go, that's not that I'm not happy. It's not that I'm not happy, but it's the grind. And usually work grind is more about the day to day of getting the job done, showing up again and again and again, and it can become routine, which is, again, another reason why today's office view was born, was so that we wouldn't be in that space. Currently, it's more along the lines of, okay, we woke up to another day where we have to be so careful. And we have to think so deeply before we engage with another person. And we have to be responsible and think about the ramifications potentially. Nobody has a crystal ball to know for sure that if I go see you, anything's going to come of that. But it can be heavy. It can be heavy, and I woke up today with that feeling. And so it took me a little while to get my feet on the ground and get going. And what I realized for me is that what's important for me is that I do keep going, but with an awareness of how things are sitting on me, right? And so I don't know if you are having more emotions these days that are perhaps what someone would call the negative emotions, but emotions just are, and it's important to honor all the emotions. But it's like, okay, so maybe they're just emotions, and yet when I look at them, I'm like, yeah, they seem to be negative. Anyway, discouraged, bitter, angry, fearful, exhausted, defeated. I don't know. So the other side of that, energized, excited, woohoo, another coronavirus day. Another way to go. Get out there and, I don't know, get her done, seize the moment, carpe diem. Anyway, so I just thought, from an integrative wisdom perspective, to pay attention to that idea of whether or not you are making sure that you are taking care of all those emotions and not just looking for the positive ones. Okay, bam, I'm going to go out and have some excitement. I'm going to go out and break all the rules and do what I want to do, have my freedom, or I'm going to follow all the rules and I'm going to do this, whatever it is. Take a moment to see and reflect on how that is sitting on your shoulders and how it's seeping into you, and whether or not you are taking steps to honor that. So I thought what I would remind you of, this is kind of like Psychology 101. I don't know if you guys ever took psychology, but my bachelor's degree was in psychology. So here was one of the exercises that we learned. Um, and I'm sure, okay, I'll wait until I'm going to put it up here and then you tell me if you know what it is. Does this ring any bells for anyone who's ever taken psychology or gone to a therapist or any of that? First of all, what is it? It's a mirror. Second of all, what do we do with it? We look. Of course, now with phones, we can look at ourselves, like, hey, how are you today? Oh, I'm pretty good. No, today wasn't a good day. Oh, okay, well, tomorrow will be better. Right? We can look at our phones and have that same thing without having to go dig one out of the cupboard. Anyway, have you taken time to pay attention to how things are sitting with you? Have you taken the time to look in the mirror and have a conversation? What self-care is needed for you today? Because we need to pay attention. We don't need to be positive all the time. That's impossible, I think. And yet, we need to pay attention and honor it all. And so those who find themselves down the rabbit hole of difficult emotions realize there's another side to the coin, right? And those who are pushing away the difficult emotions look and take a moment to look deeply and ask that deeper wisdom. Ask the soul, am I taking good care of you today? Is there something that I need to pay attention to? Something that I need to honor today? Okay. So how would we do that? Sometimes, that's people are like, I don't know how to do that. So number one, we set aside the time to recognize, okay, if I haven't been doing this, then let me do it today. And so I set aside that time and I can look in the mirror and I can look deeply, or I can journal and look deeply. I can sit in the quiet and look deeply. And pretty soon things are going to come up. Pretty soon you're going to have some little crack in the window. The door starts to open and you will begin to be given some information. And so with that information, you'll be able to figure out what your next step is. Okay, so we got the mirror part, right? You're gonna look in the mirror. Okay, set it down now. Okay. So you look in the mirror, you do the journaling, you pay attention, you listen. You don't wallow, right? It's not like we go, oh, this gives me the right to go, down a whole bottle of whatever, rather than just to have a nice little glass to sip. We don't wallow, but we acknowledge. And then we find a way to honor those feelings and emotions. We know they're transitory. We know that they come and go, and throughout the day, we don't always find ourselves in them, but we do know that they are walking with us. And so how can we let them know we hear them and that we know that they're there? To give it a full moment, okay, I'm discouraged. I'm fearful. I don't know how things are going to turn out. I hate this feeling of not being in control. I hate the idea that there is no security when I thought there was security. And even though that was never the case, it feels worse now. Whatever it might be for you. I have said before, I like to do a ceremony. It's why I put things on. Why would I do that? Sorry, crack myself up. Put things on a special place of honor in our home. It can be outside. It can be as small as a little tiny round table. And I always talk about lighting a candle And in the lighting of that candle, it's stopping, and it's a prayerful moment. And it doesn't matter whether you have a certain religion that you follow or you don't follow anything, but you stop. And whoever it is that you are, you take that moment. Okay, I'm not alone in this. I have strength around me. I have support around me. Let me breathe. Let me call it in. And then let me be honest. And sometimes what we'll do is we'll offer it up. And so you've seen me do sage. You've seen me do the um, Palo Santo wood. I don't know. Some of you may not have seen this one where we actually will do the flying wish paper. It's like, okay, releasing and letting go. But we take those steps to do something along those lines, and then we resolve to remember it, the to remember the importance of acknowledging all that is going on, the importance of not just letting it hang in here, but getting it up and out, and then not freezing, but going forward. And that was kind of like me today. I was like, oh, okay, here I go again. I'm going to go do another video. Does anybody, it's like the whole, like, nobody's going to see it. What's the point? Why does it matter? And then it's because my soul says it matters. This is important for me to be doing, no matter what's going on. And so this was my way to acknowledge that today was a slow start, but to keep going anyway, So I hope that this gives you some kind of impetus to pay attention to your soul journey, to pay attention to self-care, to recognize the importance of showing up to everything and moving through, not trying to stuff it down, but also not wallowing in it. So sending you, as always, a lot of love, a lot of support, and don't forget, tomorrow, Integrative Wisdom Day. All right, take care.